This morning, we continue our reports about safety and savings when it comes to cars. Yesterday, here on the morning show, we told you about this year's top safety picks from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, the cars that rated the highest for safety from compact cars to luxury. Now, this morning, we're focusing on affordability. Alex Knizek joins us from Consumer Reports Auto Test Center. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So first, every year Consumer Reports puts out its own list of the top 10 vehicles. How do you narrow it down to just the top 10? There are so many cars out there on the market.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do it. You know, we put all of these cars through more than 50 different tests here at our test track in Colchester, Connecticut. So that's really the first step, right? The performance, the road test result of the vehicle. But then we also consider the reliability. That's a huge component of being recommended and a top pick. Also, satisfaction, owner satisfaction, and then safety, also super important, right? It has to have certain safety features that are standard. So all of that together. And then, you know, each one of these vehicles on the list is something that any one of us at the track, myself included, would ultimately recommend to family or friends.
So the average price being paid for a new car is more than $48,000. Oh. Boy, I mean, it's just, I digest that number for a minute. That's more than a lot of people can afford. I mean, do you really need to spend that much, though, to get a great car, particularly if you want safety?
You really don't. I mean, we have 6 different vehicles on our top picks list this year that actually start under $30,000. And a great example of that is the Subaru Crosstrek. It's the first time it's on our list, recently redesigned, which means now it has those safety features standard that I mentioned. And this is just a great all-around vehicle. It's one of the top researched vehicles on our site. You know, its ride quality is outstanding for the price of the vehicle. And it's just practical, easy to live with, gets great fuel economy for the fact that it's not a hybrid, right? It's just a regular vehicle with all-wheel drive. And it gets great fuel economy. So it's just one of those vehicles that's so well-rounded and scores really well. And yeah, you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to get it.
Yeah, which is important too, particularly like me when you're shopping for a teenage driver. What about, so also included kind of on your list, Mazda and Toyota did well as well, specific cars.
Yeah. Toyota is definitely represented on the list a few times. One that falls well under that, $30,000 mark is the Toyota Camry Hybrid. It's been on the list before. And then the Mazda 3, right? Mazda is one of these brands that really punches above its weight in terms of being premium, fun to drive, also really fuel efficient. So these are just another examples of great cars that are really satisfying for owners, great reliability, and score really well in our testing. So yeah, more examples of great choices that come way under, that $48,000 average price that you mentioned.
Yeah, so we know that hybrid is very, very popular right now. What about any hybrids? Did they make your list?
Yeah, we have a lot of hybrids on our list. And, electrification in general, we found that they really just make the vehicles quieter, usually quicker, and of course, more efficient in most cases. So adding electrification in the form of a hybrid or even plug-in hybrids for that matter can just really make the vehicle that much better. So, on our list this year, we have the Toyota Prius. I think that's a hybrid that most people are kind of familiar with. And, they've recently redesigned this vehicle, but even though the performance went up over time, it's still really, really efficient. And then we also have the plug-in version on the list this year, the Prime, and it's got, greater electric-only range. So plug-in hybrids are a really interesting thing on our list this year because they really bridge the gap between going from a regular hybrid or a regular gas car all the way to an EV, right? They allow somebody to do some electric-only driving, but they really don't have to worry about, as with a fully electric vehicle, the charging issue, right? You go on a long trip, you might have to charge the vehicle, and that can get a little inconvenient with an electric vehicle. So a plug-in hybrid can be a great option for somebody who's not really, ready to maybe take that full step. But they get some electric-only driving and great efficiency. So the Toyota Prius Prime is a great example of that.
It's interesting too because my mother actually has a Prius and she absolutely loves it. But it's a little tight for us with the family and my niece, in a car seat. I'm surprised that we're really, really also seeing a lot of bigger vehicles like the Toyota Highlander, for example, which I know is also on the list that can accommodate larger families.
Yeah, the Highlander hybrid is an awesome option exactly for that reason. The 3-row SUV space is very, very competitive. And the efficiency of the Highlander hybrid is really part of what earns it its spot on our list. A lot of vehicles in the same that it competes with rely on, less efficient engines and whatnot. So, yeah, you get all that space, you get that third row comfort, and you're going to get over 30 miles per gallon. So, Toyota Highlander hybrid is great. We also have the RAV4 Prime on the list as well from Toyota, and that's a plug-in hybrid, right? That also offers you more space than the Prius and some of that electric-only driving since it can be plugged in.
Alex Knizek is with Consumer Reports. Thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.